Oh, we prime time. Subscribe, like, and share. Give us your feedback. Yo, I'm Manny at the plate and Kobe off a steal. Gretzky for the goal and Brady at the wheel. I'm a game changer, the Osaka of the tennis. And breaking scoreboard, Simone of the Olympics. Defense and big business, the Mayweather who way better. From the greatness of Jim Brown, I've been down. Talking sports before I was off the porch. Screaming Bo knows while Jordan was playing horse. Late 80s getting torched by the drive and the shot. 2016 got a ring off the three in the block. They eased to forgot the cardiac kids. Price and Doherty, Bell in the Indian years. This who it is. Your host DeeTrynt, yo, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer. Yo, your host DeeTrynt, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer. Yo, what's really good? Good afternoon, good evening to you, depending on where you at in the country or in the world. It's been a while. DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, InDaStreetzSportz, fresh off the regular 9 to 5, you feel me? And I'm like, let me get in here and talk to my people for a second, all right? First, I want to send my condolences. My blessings and my many prayers to the family of Dwayne Haskins, who tragically lost his life a few days ago down here in South Florida. I won't get into the particulars of what happened to him. It's definitely unfortunate. A great standout from the Ohio State University Buckeyes. You know, he had one of the most amazing years a quarterback could have, especially for a guy, running the show for his first time. So, Mr. Haskins, man, we're going to miss you down here. I know from your position, though, you're going to be able to impact lives a lot more. It's a lot of love for you down here. And we definitely, those of us that can or that will definitely do for your family, I'm pretty sure. All right. But I definitely wanted to highlight that, being a Ohioan, a diehard Ohio fan, we never want to see anybody lose their life for any reason, let alone, under these circumstances. In saying that about Dwayne, Adam Schefter really pissed me off. That bullshit Adam Schefter put out, and I'm definitely saying bullshit. I was all on this skillet top about that shit. Listen, bro, this man just lost his life. We don't give a fuck about whatever so-called struggles he had in the NFL.
Right, that was some straight bullshit.
Yeah, that none of that shit matters. You feel me? You're the professional. You are the leading guy in your role in that profession. And to me, bro, just show me that you racist. Period. You know what I'm saying? We know closet racist and all this other shit, but that shit you on? I mean, yeah, you came back and tried to tweet the apology, but and the man in your position, why the fuck you ain't think about that before you sent the initial tweet? But that's it's a conversation for another day. All right. The Browns have done nothing since the last bit of news. However, Jadeveon Clowney looks like he is going to return. We don't have any finalization on that yet, but it looks very much leaning in that direction. The NFL draft is but 13, 14 days away. So that's going to be an interesting thing, and we're going to have our own separate live about the Browns and the draft and all of that. What I will highlight for the Browns, though, is that Deshaun Watson's civil cases will not go to trial until July of 2023, which to me just backs up what I've been saying this whole time. If Deshaun even gets suspended at all, which is what I've been saying, he might get 2 games, maybe 4 at the most, if he gets suspended. That's what I've been saying. And this just kind of proves that, you know, all of these things that's been transpiring, you know, after his so-called 1-year sit, just shows that, you know, or exposes how money hungry people are. And, you know, how much people try to manipulate the circumstances because they don't like being on the non-most beneficial end. That makes sense. You know, they're not the one getting the cream of the crop of the deal. So they feel some type of way. This is just greedy people. But the highlight, well, it's two highlights. First off, the Cleveland Guardians, all right, aren't expected to do anything. And right now, we look like we might be Red Sox 2.0 with the way Tito doing his thing over there. We gonna have a whole separate podcast for that too, because that is interesting. The team that they're put together, keeping Jose Ramirez, you know, Quan Straw, Bieber, Tristan McKenzie. Like, listen, it can
Yeah,
get real
you need to
interesting in
talk about
Cleveland.
it because a lot of people ain't got
Yeah,
faith
you need,
on
you
him
need to talk
in
about
the
it because a lot
land.
of people ain't got faith on in the land.
Mm. How
I
you
mean,
not
man,
have
we're
faith
gonna
in?
have to do
We'll have
another
to do another
episode for that,
episode
but
for that, but
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
do a trial.
do a
I
trial.
mean, Guardians.
Guardian.
No, that's a fact. We definitely gonna shoot one of those. But today's show is not about the Browns or the Cavs. It's not. I mean, the Browns or the Guardians. It's not about the O State Buckeyes. Today's show is literally about the Cleveland Cavaliers. All right, and the amazing season they've had, and how will it end? All right, so the Cleveland Cavaliers in the 21-22 season with a 44-38 record, which is the same record as the Brooklyn Nets. The Cavs finished 8th in the East uh, with ending records. Being that they lost 3 out of 4 games to Brooklyn, they won a tiebreaker. And had they been in a position with Chicago, Chicago would have won because they got the tiebreaker too. The Cavs have definitely looked a little off going into the playoff break or the playoff run, and a lot of that has to do with injuries. You know, just bad timing of injuries and people being out. But they still held their spot. The Cavs could have totally faltered and not made the playoffs at all, but they are in. Even if it's just a play-in, they are in. And tonight they'll be going against the Brooklyn Nets. Now the other matchup at a play-in for the Eastern Conference is Atlanta versus Charlotte, which is probably be an interesting game because, you know, really like nobody in the Cavs is this another stereotypical black show. I don't even know what you mean by stereotypical black show, but it is an interesting one. So feel free to stay tuned in, chime in, you know, give your feedback, and we'll see what we come up with during the show. You feel me? I mean, because, you know, we talk real on here. You know what I'm saying? And you can hit the link and you can come up here and talk your stuff too. Because we talk real over here. Whatever it is we talk about, we talking real. All right. So the Cavs, like I say, you know, they finished. Oh, the other matchup, Atlanta and Charlotte. Now the beauty about the position the Cavs in at 8, which should have been 7, but the beauty of position at 8 is they get 2 chances to make the playoffs. All right, to officially make the playoffs for sure. 100. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? So the first test tonight is Brooklyn. Brooklyn is finally almost healthy. Ben Simmons will probably play for them once they actually get into the playoffs and get a whole round series. I look. So the question that most people will have is, can the Cavs beat the Nets in this scenario? Right? The Cavs, the Nets, they're not rolling, but they have been playing a nice brand of basketball over the last week or two, which is what you want to do going into the playoffs. They do have multiple guys on there who's either been to a championship or has actually won a championship. So they have some type of pedigree. They have some type of veteran leadership. They have some type of understanding of the moment and the situation. The Cavs only have two people on their roster with that type of, and that's Kevin Love and Chetty Osman. Both have been with the Cavs for 4 consecutive title runs. Both have an NBA championship, and both have been doing pretty well for us off the bench this season. I think it is a crime, and maybe I'm Cleveland biased, but I think it is a crime if Kevin Love doesn't win Sixth Man of the Year. Wait, so 100% true. I don't have a response to that question on this particular show because that's not what this show about. This show right here is about sports and Cavs. I have a whole different podcast where we get deep. It's called Deeper Than Bars. You can follow that on Spotify, Anchor. You catch it on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Where we talk about, that type of subjects and get into those type of things. But this here, we just kind of stick to the sports, keep it separated. So I'm going to definitely keep that question in mind because I can definitely make that a topic. But that's just not where we at right now. We just talking sports, Cleveland sports, and Cavs. Well, my guy, you are entitled to think whatever you want. However, though, I am on a format and I am running a show. So, that's not the topic right now, and we just going to keep the topic where it's at. We talk about these Cavs. Because game time jump off in about an hour, and I want to be able to get out what I need to say about my Cavs before game time starts. You feel me? But I appreciate you going, and feel free to keep chiming in. You feel me? So, yeah. So, like I say, they've been the Nets, like I say, they've been rolling. But like I say, we got 2 guys on here who bring some type of, but we got a lot of hungry guys. I don't think the Nets can run with us if we run. The Cavs are missing Jared Allen. He, like Ben Simmons, they won't play tonight. But if we go on, he's probably going to play. But I do think that hinders us. For sure. I appreciate that. It does hinder the Cavs though, in a slight way. Only reason it's not a major way is because outside of Andre Drummond and the onslaught of ability that Kevin Durant bring from any position, you could say, hey, they might beat us up on the inside, but it's hard for me to really agree with that. The Nets only have like Drummond and Claxton. They got Kessler Edwards, who's kind of like a tall wing, more or less. Claxton down there, Durant, Drummond. So they got about 4 guys. All right. Technically, though, we got a lightweight onslaught. I mean, I didn't know if Moses Brown was going to make the roster, but he's on the playoff roster, and I think that's big because a guy like Moses Brown, you can really bring in and help not only give Evan Mobley some spare minutes, but Moses blocks shots. He's long. He runs the floor. And being that most people don't really, game plan for him, he could be a nice X factor. Even if it's nothing but just, getting defensive rebounds and extra possessions and, taking fouls that don't go to impactful players per se. That though, did I freeze? Am I frozen? But that is going to be big for us. Um,
You good on my end.
Kyrie and
You good on my end.
okay for sure. Kyrie and Kevin Durant. I mean, they're gonna do what they do. You know, Kyrie gonna play with a little aggression and violence just because he playing the Cavs. It don't really got nothing to do with play with the Cavs players per se. But you know, some of the Cavs
And I
fans
don't
and you
know,
know the owner
my bad,
probably
but you
don't
heard
sit.
what happened earlier, right, in Brooklyn?
You heard what happened earlier, right, in Brooklyn?
Mm-mm.
It was a shooting
Oh
at Sunset Park.
Sunset Park.
no, bro, I did
Great,
hear
great.
that.
Yeah.
I did hear that. That's whew, that's once again.
Prayers to all their families.
I was about to say that. You know what I'm saying? To everybody that was involved, you know, who was impacted in some type of way. We all praying for y'all. You know what I'm saying? We hope some type of fast resolution comes to this situation. But that's another one of them topics that's just we gonna have to leave that for deeper than bars, you know what I'm saying? And make sure y'all follow the Deeper Than Bars show, as well as follow this show, Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Sports with DeeTrynt. You know, when you follow Deeper Than Bars, you know, that's hosted by Degrees Pimp Gang, you know what I'm saying, and the real double O, real 1200 double O, you know, so but we get into that on like I say, Brooklyn, you know, I expect Kyrie and Kevin Durant to really like come out and really play assertive. Um, but the Cavs got a long repertoire of things to throw at you, even though we're missing some things. Um, Not having Colin Sexton in this playoff hurts, flat out. A lot of people like to say this and that about Colin and all this old extra stuff, but in all actuality, bro, Colin has been. I mean, I promise y'all, I don't think this team plays with this type of aggression if we don't draft Colin first. I think he's like the whole key to the rebuild. He's the one guy outside of Darius Garland who can take anybody on the one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? Even Darius got a little limitations. Colin, though, he dunking on you, he shooting on you, he rolling on you, he moving on you. I would have loved to have Colin. So with Colin not being the guy available, I would love to see Karis LeVert go ham. I need Karis LeVert to be a scorer first. And not this dribble the ball for 15, 20 seconds and then go. No. I need him to get the ball, know where he going, make his move. I need him to be aggressive and keep the Brooklyn Nets defense on their heels or backpedaling every time he gets the ball. All right. I think Darius Garland is going to do what he does, but they're going to be all over Garland. So what I'm looking for the Cavs to do is to use their big man's passing ability to their advantage. Kevin Love can pass. Evan Mobley can pass. Lauri Markkanen can pass. All of these guys have really good passing skills. I need the Cavs to utilize that in this game. I need them to take advantage of their uh, uh, their ability to produce from the big man positions and the Nets' lack of ability to produce from the big man positions. Now, don't get me wrong, Drummond probably gonna come out and try to do his thing. Seth Curry gonna come out and try to do his thing. But you know, with Allen out, I would assume the starting lineup will be Darius Garland, Isaac Okoro, Karis LeVert, or Karis LeVert, Isaac Okoro with Markkanen and Mobley. I ain't gonna lie though, y'all. I think Kevin Love should start, and Lauri Markkanen should come off the bench. Now, I say that, you know, fantasy wise, because realistically, you're going to need Lauri Markkanen to cover Kevin Durant starting out. You're going to need a big body who, I mean, you ain't really no stopping Durant, but you at least want to make him work a little harder. and giving him a guy that he can't just up and raise over at will like that, that helps. Lauri Markkanen is going to have to hit shots though. Caris LeVert going to have to hit shots. Garland going to have to hit shots. But if they do start the three bigs, what I think is going to probably be, I think Love will start at center because he's going to have to check Drummond and kind of bully him and box him out on the boards. Mobley playing at 4, probably being checked by Bruce Brown is definitely going to help. Letting Markkanen play that 3, checking Durant is definitely going to help. The issue is, do you start Okoro or do you start LeVert? I think you should start Okoro. Well, let me rephrase that. I think Okoro has earned a right to start in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? At the same token, I wouldn't be opposed to starting LeVert with Garland because Rondo's going to play and he could facilitate off the bench. You could still bring in a Brandon Goodwin, but being able to run a LeVert with Rondo, or Okoro, Rondo, Osman, with Moses Brown off the bench ain't bad. I think you might see Ed Davis a lot in this game. Not a whole lot, but a lot because of his ability to rebound and the way Drummond can really kind of dominate the boards if he gets on one. I really, really think Ed Davis will probably play. But, what's got me a little off and iffy is the fact that, Kyrie and Durant could score 100 points by themselves. But the Cavs have a good enough defense to where they can not necessarily neutralize them, but at least slow them down. It's the role players that I need them to stay on. So I think today's emphasis should be staying at home. You're going to put the best guy you can on their best scorer, and everybody else has to stay home. You have to live and die with whatever they give you, and can't nobody else beat you. If it's Bruce Brown, I'm not necessarily mad at you leaving Bruce Brown open, but don't leave him open in his spots. If Bruce Brown is in, a spot where he hit from on a regular, make him move. Make him move a little bit. Make him put it on the floor once. Make him get a little uncomfortable before he shoot that shot. That's going to help. They don't have a Joe Harris. Patty Mills and Seth Curry is probably going to be trying to let it fly. So we're going to have to match him for 3-pointers. Or at least, what I said on my last stream is that I feel like the Cavs have to take advantage in the post. Using a big man's in the high post, creating mismatches, mismatch check-in, or however, mismatch player matchups. What I mean by is Evan Mobley is not going to bully Durant. Evan Mobley is not going to bully Andre Drummond. But if you get him on a smaller guy, he has an advantage. You know what I'm saying? So catching the big man's in the mismatch position, it doesn't matter who has the ball. Whether Coral got it, Stevens got it, Osman got it, Garland, Rondo. When the big man has a littler man trapped under the basket, you have to immediately throw him the ball. All right? I even want to see pick and rolls off ball, or picks off ball that allows one of these big men to be in an advantage position throughout the game. Make the game a little easier for Garland to pass to y'all. So that way, when he got to exert his energy,
and shit.
You said I'm breaking up, man. I'm froze on my end. So I don't even know if there's any
You probably
comments and stuff
can.
coming in.
You probably can come back and join from the same link.
All right, so look, let me refresh and give me a couple seconds, bro. Go ahead and talk for a second. Let me see what happened.
I'm playing FIFA before work.
Man, look at you, man. Look at you. All right, let me see.
This ain't the only
Let me
All I gotta say is go Cavs.
All right, I'll be right back. All right. We
There we
right
go.
back like cook crack. My bad. I seen that shit later. I say, oh man, now you want to act right. All right. Show. So, are we back? Okay, we good. Okay, we good. We good. These I got a lot of faith in my Cavs, y'all. I really feel like the Cavs could take Brooklyn. And I feel like the key for them taking Brooklyn is being able to match them with 3-pointers from our off-ball guys. Patty Mills, Bruce Brown, Seth Curry, they're going to hit shots. They might even bring Cam Harris in, and we all know Cam Harris can score the ball. So guys like Osman, Marketing, Love, Levert, they are really, really instrumental to this game. Their ability to make buckets and draw and become a threat to that Nets defense is going to be so key. Another key is foul trouble. The Nets are going to be aggressive going to the hole. They are going to be they're going to have high intensity trying to create fouls and mismatches to try to get Evan out the game. Especially being that Evan is the only known rim protector. This is why I say I will put Love at the center. Because Love is going to be checked by Drummond. And Love playing on that perimeter takes Drummond out the paint. Now on the defensive end, neither one of them is like really great defenders, Love or Drummond. However, though, Love can rebound with Drummond, and which is what all you want. You know what I'm saying? Mobley could play weak side and help out. Marking it down there could play weak side and help out. Or Coro can board from his position. You know what I mean? But that's why I say I will start Love at the center. Ultimately, though, this is what I think will happen. I think Darius Garland is going to go for 25 and 15. Somewhere around those numbers. 25 points, 15 assists. I think Evan Mobley is going to go for 25 plus this game as well. I expect either Kyrie or Durant to go for 40 or close to it. One of them. I don't think both of them going to get up, but one of them going to go for 40. And this game is going to come down to the role players. It's going to come down to the bench and the role players. So, in another sense, I wouldn't be mad if JB didn't start Love. But I think it's a smarter thing to do. Because you can play Ed Davis with Moses Brown. And then, if a Coral starts, you'll basically have those two with Rondo. And then you got Levert and Osman or Levert and Stevens. So virtually, Levert can go half. Okay, he could just be aggressive and put up buckets. You have to give him at least one shooter, so that's why I say Osman. You might even see a stagger where you might have Osman and Marketing. But I really think this is a good game for JB to show his evolution as a coach. I mean, his ability to coach these guys to create mismatches intentionally and take advantage of them purposely is really, really going to be the key to this game. It's really going to be the key. I got all the faith in JB. If I'm picking a score, I'm going with the Cavs, y'all. I'm going with the Cavs. The Cavs probably are not favored in this game. Let me see. What's the score line for the Cavs in this game? What's the predictions? I'm pretty sure people are picking the Nets. But I just think we kind of got the Nets number, bro. I think if anybody can give the Nets a 1-game scare, I think it's these Cavs, bro. Now the Nets are favored. Bro, the Nets favored by 10. Are you fucking serious? By 9.5? I don't think this game, whoever wins this game is not gonna win by, they're gonna win by somewhere between like 5, maybe 7, depending on how the end of the game goes. But it's probably gonna be like a 5 to 3 point difference. And I got the Cavs winning. I got the Cavs winning like 109 or 104 type shit. And I just think this is a good game to catch Brooklyn slipping. Because I'm pretty sure, and two, I'm gonna say this too. I think Brooklyn might want to play Miami first and not Boston. As crazy as this sounds. Because I just think the Nets might want to play Miami. It don't make sense. I understand. It's far fetched. But part of me think that we want to play Miami and not Boston because Boston is hot and Miami still trying to get it together. But Miami got a deep ass squad, and I personally would rather play Boston in the first round as the Cavs than play Miami. But I still like our chances with either team. As a Cavs fan, I just think what we bring in a from a post position standpoint, combined with the type of versatility we have between the guards and wings, it definitely presents a problem. Miami has a lot more scorers than Boston, though. A lot more guys who are threats to take over games with their offense. So that'd be intriguing to see. But I got the Cavs 109, Nets 104. Like I say, I think Garland goes for 25. I think Mobley goes for these 25. I think one of the Nets big two goes for 40. And it's gonna be about the role play. But part of me think Willer gonna be the guy who surprises everybody in this game and not Osman. I think Willer gonna fuck around and get in because somebody gonna have foul trouble. It's either gonna be Osman or Lamar Stevens or maybe Isaac Okoro. And I think Willer comes in the game and gives us like 12 to 14 points. A couple open threes that really stretch the defense, which is going to allow Mobley to get more off. And I think that's how the Cavs going to win it. And then I think the Nets going to end up playing the Hawks because I don't think Charlotte beats the Hawks. I think Charlotte going to get the Hawks a run for their money, though. I just don't think they'll beat them. Playoff trade, boy. Now it's nice to see. Now Melo and them was in the. I think they was in the play-in last year. If I am mistaken, they was in the play-in last year. So Melo and them definitely trying to get to the playoffs. But but I think Brooklyn gonna end up playing Atlanta for AFC. Because part of me thinks another thing is if the Nets don't want to play Boston, I think nobody wants to see Atlanta in the playoffs. The way they turned up last year, the versatility and the team they got, I don't think nobody wants to play Atlanta in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Playoff trade is something spectacular. But it would be a crazy thing if the Nets lose to the Cavs tonight, get the Hawks and lose to the Hawks, and then the Lakers and the Nets, who were both picked to be in the finals, neither one of them actually made the playoffs. Man, you talk about off season full of chatter, boy, national sports media gonna go fucking crazy. Right? They gonna lose their mind. It's more likely that's probably not gonna happen, but it is very possible. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you give stuff a chance, you give it an opportunity. You know what I mean? Um, but I really want to see a Coro take an offensive jump in this game. Um, I would like to see Lamar Stevens be able to get off offensively in this game. Um, and I really want to see the Cavs be aggressive from the jump. If the Cavaliers want to earn calls in the playoffs, they have to play aggressive. That means no layups. We booming. We go to the hole, we dunking. Okoro, Stevens, Mobley, Marketing, all right? Osman. We go to the hole, we dunk. Levert, we go to the hole, we dunk. Rondo, I would love to see some playoff Rondo magic. All right? Some lobs, you know what I'm saying? Some open threes, some coming in and really controlling the tempo. What I don't want to see before the second half, and really not before like the end of the third or fourth quarter, is I don't want to see Rondo playing with Garland. I don't want to see that until the second half. All right? I don't want to bring, because I feel like if we got to bring that out in the first half, we probably in trouble. So the Garland Rondo backcourt, I want to see to the second half. But in that first half, I would like to see a tall boy light up. I would like to see Levert with Osman, Stevens, Moses Brown, and Love or Marketing. I want to see that lineup because I think that's a lineup that could take advantage of the Nets, especially a Nets bench. Guys like Blake Griffin are going to probably play hard as hell. He ain't been in the playoffs in a while, so he probably feel like he got something to prove. You can't forget LaMarcus Aldridge over there. He ain't played a lot, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him play and really have an impact. But that's why I like Moses Brown. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not saying that Moses Brown could D up and stop LaMarcus Aldridge. But what I am saying is, though, with his skill set and his size, his athleticism, he gives us a chance to, make life hard for him. Like I say, Blake Griffin, if they do play Blake Griffin, I want to see them bring in an Ed Davis. I mean, I am all about matchups, especially when it comes down to, winning games. I'm about matchups. I need to put my neutralizer on whoever you got so my other people could get off. And I want to see JB do that. I don't want to see him handcuffed to, I'm only playing these guys. I want you to play matchups. If this guy ain't played, but he's the matchup for that guy, bring him in. Because at worst case scenario, he soaks up fouls and he allows a guy to get rest. So even if he's getting fouls, hopefully he's fouling a guy that can't hit a lot of free throws, and that's helping us out. You know what I'm saying? Does it help us out by getting in the penalty early? No. But it does stop one of your more impactful guys from fouling out or getting early fouls. You know what I'm saying? And it also allows them to get rest to come in and be a little more impactful. I think in this playing game, he should be willing to go 11 deep. Not 11 deep, that 11 guys going to get valuable time. But I think it should be at least 3 guys to 4 guys that get like 3 or 4 minutes, here, 2 or 3 minutes here, just to help preserve your guys for the second half and for the clutch run of the game. But, win, lose, or draw, this has been a successful season for the Cavaliers. Win, lose, or draw. These Cavs were predicted to barely win 20 games. On a good stretch, they might win 30. The Cavs had won 35 games by All-Star break. We gotta commend them for that, bro. They missing. They lead and score. Their second best playmaker all lost to injuries. You know, various impactful guys out throughout the year. I mean, they're a young team. Your core players are 24 and under. The season has been a success. Everything after this point is just icing on the cake. So the Cavs literally are playing with house money. All right. But in their minds, they probably like, we were a top 2 team this season in the Eastern Conference. A top 5 team in the league most of the year. So in their mind, the young guys probably like, they supposed to win this game. Even though Kyrie and Kevin over there, they supposed to win this game. And I like that mentality, which is, again, why I miss Collins so much, y'all. But, you know, I just want to wrap with y'all before game time. I know people getting ready for the game. You know, the game is showing on TNT. It's going to start up at about 7 o'clock. I'm going to end up watching it from the road on the way to the house. But it's been a pleasure rocking with y'all. I am DeeTrynt. This is Game Changer Sports Talk. Follow us on Twitter at DeeTrynt or InDaStreetzSportz. The same for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. YouTube, Twitch, Spotify, or on any of the podcast outlets like Spotify, Anchor, Radio Public, Google Podcasts. You want to search InDaStreetzSportz, and then you want to look up the name Game Changer Sports to find it like that. All right. It's been a pleasure rocking with y'all. Please leave your feedback. Always know when you see me streaming or I'm about to go live, you always welcome to come in, talk your shit, defend your team. You know, bring in your points. Maybe you got some good conversation we could talk about. All right. But it's been a pleasure rocking with y'all. Please be safe. You know what I'm saying? Peace, love, and hair grease, y'all. One.